the shooting guard position over the years. And here's a rundown of the players wreaking havoc at that spot this year. The fourth spot held by Paul George.
And both the hand speed and general quickness of the players on that list are outstanding. Those are the qualities you need to be an effective perimeter defender.
Well, the two-guard position is where we often find a team's best defender, and that's definitely the case with these guys. Every one of their teams leans on them heavily at the defensive end.
Curry against Hill. And the three off target. Pacers trail by 21. Leads them in there. Some nice passing here by Indiana. Granger. He dishes it to Stevenson. Out of bounds. Golden State takes possession.
Well, it's interesting. Indiana is known for being a hotbed of basketball. And in recent years, the Pacers have not drawn well, in large part because I didn't think their teams were very likable. But that's changed. The current Pacer group is a hard-working, unselfish team, and I think they're fun to watch.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. West comes in for George. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Lance Stevenson. And the shot is good.
They started the game off tortoise-like, but their offense coming to life.
Tortoise-like. Wow, Clark. Yeah, they're putting it together, but still trailing. Their offense is finally getting some traction.
The unselfishness you mentioned, Steve, with this Pacers group, they really play team basketball, and they look out for each other.
And, Kevin, a big part of it is they don't really have a superstar that they're built around. They are just a good collection of good to outstanding players, and they're all willing to defer in order to get the win.
That's a great quality.
Yep.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. Tyler Hansbrough's checked in for Pendergraph. And it's George in for George Hill. And the basket by Curry.
And defensively, remember, you got to fight through screens to avoid giving up open looks.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Steve. And the defense has to go over the top of that screen. I think that's how they get it done.
How about Paul George? Since he got into the NBA, he's grown a couple of inches. He's now 6'10", and as a swingman, that's just great size. Phenomenal athlete, can guard pretty much anybody on the court.
Well, that was a nice start. After having a good first quarter, he's showing us more of the same here.
The Pacers have gone 3 of 4 from the floor here in the second quarter. Augustine passes to Granger. Passes it to Augustine. Back to Granger. They get a hand on it. And it's DJ Augustine with the foul. That's his first foul. And some changes here for the Pacers. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Hansbrough. Lance Stevenson subbed in for Danny Granger. And the Warriors also making a change. Andrew Bogut checked in for Carl Landry. And Paul George taken with the 11th pick in the 2010 NBA draft. Clark, if you look back at that class, you think if they did it over, he'd go higher?
I don't know if he would or not, but I'm certainly glad he fell where he did to number 10 and for the Indiana Pacers, because I think he's got a chance to be a star. At both ends of the floor, it's a matter of commitment to the extra work and keeping his feet on the ground, staying humble and hungry. If he does that, kid's got a chance to be a special player.
And he makes both free throws.
Well, Curry is a constant threat offensively, Kevin. As soon as he crosses half court, you have to pick him up. He's got unlimited range, but also the shiftiness on the dribble, the ability to create space, get into the paint, and either hit a little floater or find a teammate for a jump shot.
Well, one of the best shooters in the game, Steve, no question about that. The passing ability is there too, but it's his honey sweet stroke that really is his best quality.
Timeout called the Pacers.
Well, guys, I think the big question with Andrew Bogut is, can he stay healthy? When he's been able to play, he's been very productive. He can pass, he can score down on the low block, but he just hasn't been able to consistently string healthy seasons together. Now for Stephen Curry, let's take a look at some of his numbers. Second in three-point field goal percentage, second in free throw percentage, and he's really worked hard at his offensive game. He ranks in the top 10 in that category, points per game.
And, you know, going back to his three-point shooting percentage, he's been an absolute dead-eye from distance. I mean, only one guy's been better than him, Steve.
George Hill's checked in for Augustine. The Warriors also with a sub. Lee's checked in. And the basket by Hill. And now Bogut getting a fresh start with the new team. He's hoping to, Clark, put those injuries behind him.
Yeah, and if he can stay healthy, Kevin, I think he can be a dominant player. He passes it well. He can block shots. He rebounds effectively. He can score. The issue is just his health. If he's healthy, he'll be a factor.
6 to shoot. Curry gets the screen from Lee. Three-pointer. And another three for Golden State.
This has all been about him this quarter. I mean, their lead is safe if he keeps up this kind of play.
For three, Hill. Thompson with the rebound. Here's Jack. Here's... Oh!
Are you kidding me?
That was a power punch right there.
Oh, great.
And for a point guard, you love LUV. That finish. Wow.
Yeah, he's really been able to get off his feet and sky. Something to watch.
Incredible athleticism, both laterally and vertically.
So as we conclude the first half, so far,
Your Pacers, 21. The Warriors.
well, we're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third.
How about Steph Curry in this one? He's got 42 points, and he's buried a ton of three-pointers in this game, too.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of just how many of those he's hit.
A tall bunch at 2, 3, and 4. George, Granger, and West. George Hill out there with Roy Hibbert. That's the Pacers' 5. The shot by George, no good.
Had a pretty good look at the basket, but defensively they did a nice job rotating, forcing the miss.
Outside for Curry. Launches it. They get it back. Thompson against George. It's Curry outside. Gets it to go.
For three.
Curry's got the first basket of the third quarter for the Warriors.
Well, you look at Frank Vogel of the Pacers, young guy, a lot of energy, and really emphasizes toughness and kind of a smash-mouth style that his team has really embraced.
Here's Granger, and there's the rejection. And up the court come the Warriors on the break. Thompson with the ball. Outside Curry. Launches a three. And another three for Golden State.
He looks good, getting it done consistently from deep.
Steve, I know you love the three ball, and he's been sharp, kind of like Steve Kerr used to be.
And George kicks to Hibbert. Granger outside. Over Barnes. Granger, good. Granger's got 7 points. You talk about that tough style that Coach Vogel has emphasized. The Pacers have the size and, Steve, the physicality inside to really deliver on that style of play.
Yeah, they've got a swagger about them, and obviously some talent, too, with guys like Hibbert and David West. So I like the way Vogel has really sort of rubbed off on this team. His personality has become their personality, and they've become one of the better defensive clubs in the league.
Granger left side. Off target with the jump hook.
Just 1 of 4 now to start this third quarter.
It's Curry. That time on the assist by Barnes. Curry's got 54 points. Last outing for Golden State, it was a loss to the San Antonio Spurs.
And guys, had their free throw shooting been anywhere near up to par, I think it would have changed everything in that game.
No doubt about it. I mean, there is a carryover effect when you're not having success at the line. It infiltrates other parts of your game. Well, another uncontested three there. They've got to make some kind of an adjustment. I mean, they're giving up way too many open threes.
Well, the last 5 hoops, 3 have come off wide open three-pointers, Clark. So it's one thing to give up one, but you start giving three-pointers up in bunches, you're in big trouble.
Clock keeps going. 3 minutes into the second half now. There's the triple. The shot is off, and it's the Pacers taking it the other way.
Steph Curry, of course, the son of NBA sharpshooter Del Curry. I guess great shooting runs in the family because he's got a younger brother who can really shoot too over at Duke.
And David West, the bucket on the assist by Granger. West has got 6.
Well, he's been scoring pretty well on just a few attempts. It might help them out if he was a bit more assertive.
On its way from Curry for 2. No good from the wing. He's talking about Seth Curry, who's at Duke, and Steph Curry, who's in the NBA with Golden State, still developing as a playmaker. Boy, you're not going to see many players who can shoot the ball better than him.
Agreed, Kevin, because he has a quick release and it's textbook form and he's got unlimited range.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Jeff Pendergraft's checking in for Hibbert. Hansbrough comes in for David West. And Stevenson's checked in for Danny Granger. And DJ Augustine subbed in for George Hill. It's George on the wing. Puts the lead pass in front of him. And now Curry running the floor all by himself. And another 3 for Golden State.
9 straight points for them off of wide open looks from deep. Something has to change for this D.
Yeah, they're just giving up too many easy shots out there. They've got to close out harder, get a hand up, make him put it on the floor.
And now let's take a look at a very well-rounded group of players. Shooting guards who can rebound with the big boys. Paul George on top.
And you know what he gives away in terms of size to other big men down low, he makes up for with his agility and determination. That's what makes him such an outstanding rebounder.
Yeah, I'd like to go back to one thing you said there, Steve, is determination. You can't be as good a rebounder as he is from the 2-guard spot without significant determination and effort. I mean, and he brings it every night.
Augustine dishes to Stevenson. Granger. And he uses both hands to jam it in.
You know, the dunk was great, but I didn't care for that interior defense there, guys. It was non-existent.
You're right, Clark. You know, it was way too easy. I don't think the coach liked it either. Look at that face.
It doesn't get much easier than that. They have got to tighten up their defense. That was embarrassing.
Both teams deciding to change it up. They double him with West. Hill against Curry. Just 5 on the clock. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pacers will take it. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Jack. And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair.
31. The Warriors. 70.
So it's the Pacers now, setting the floor for the Warriors. Draymond Green is out there with Jefferson, and it's Rush, and it's Ezeli in at the 5. Indiana moving the ball around. Johnson kicks to Augustine. Green with the rebound.
Some rugged defense there against one of the stronger finishers in the game. And another quick strike for them. No question which team is running the fast break better here today.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been lethal in transition, Steve. It's one of the reasons they're out in front.
Here's Green. A three-pointer off the mark. And for the Warriors, they're shooting an outstanding 53% for the game. Rush the pass to Green. He feeds it to Jefferson. Here's the three. Pacers with the rebound. Fourth quarter of basketball. We're about a minute into it. Here's Johnson. Rush grabs the miss.
Well, those chances are almost always 2 points for him. I guess the defense did what it had to do to bother him.
Jefferson's shot is off.
Well, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
Golden State
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him two chances at the free throw line here.
Orlando.
You know, the way it usually goes is if you're in the NBA, you were probably the best player on your team in college. But there are some exceptions to that. And there have been quite a few NBA stars that weren't even considered the best player on their college teams. Kevin Love is a name that jumps out.
Mahinmi's checked in for the Pacers. Lance Stevenson comes in for Green. Here's Jack. Augustine grabs the board. The Pacers have gone 0 of 3 to start the fourth quarter. It's rebounded by Golden State. Bogut's got his fifth rebound in this one. Well, as you mentioned, Steve, Kevin Love overshadowed a bit on his UCLA team by Darren Collison, but he certainly has blossomed.
Well, I think that's going to be the case with a lot of young freshmen who come into the NBA based on...
Oh, my God!
High wire flying out.
That'll drop your jaw.
Well, I don't know how he got it in his mind to go for that. Very bold to toss the alley-oop to himself there.
But he nailed it, and his teamites are loving it.
I think the first guy I ever saw do that was Tracy McGrady back in an All-Star game years ago. It's a pretty amazing play. And it saw just a little bit of daylight, went right to the rim.
Here's Jack. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and two shots coming up. That's good from Jack. Tyler Hansbrough is checked in for Indiana. Granger comes in for Johnson. And Golden State also making a change. Lee's checked in for Andrew Bogut.
Well, guys, you see all these great fans, and it reminds you that what sports are really all about is kind of a community spirit, pride in the community and the team itself. And, you know, whether you're watching the pros or college ball or high school, or just standing around the water cooler, I mean, sports and